Hi, and welcome to our first mini class for making your own luck. My name is Dana Zipizak, and I am a travel agent, sales and marketing educator. And I work with agents to help them build their business. All right, now I just need to make sure this is in all the places it should be and that you can hear me. All right, let's just make sure. And I apologize because this was supposed to be last week, but I didn't have any voice last week. So we're now doing the making our own luck the week after St. Patrick's Day because I couldn't speak very well. My allergies had caused some sinus issues, and every time I talked, all I did was cough. So we had to move this to I had to move these sessions to this week. So we're just after the fact. So before we get started, I have a question for you. So now we are within a month of having taxes due. So where are you with taxes? Are you done and filed? Did you send the info in? Are you recording receipts still? Or there are extensions for a reason? And I will say I am B. I have sent the info. I've talked to the accountant and we are, but then I realized um I realized that I forgot to give her some things. So I guess now she's, fixing them because um I try to be very organized with my taxes. I like keeping the business records. I enjoy doing that. And I enjoy seeing like where things have grown, where things haven't grown, those kinds of things. So, yes, I sent the info in and now I am waiting for the bill. Okay. Now, today we are talking about picking a specialty. Now, this is something that we're working on in my Sales Lab membership. We just had a mindset moment on it yesterday. So if you're a Sales Lab member, you remember that. And specializing is something that we talk about. We say, I'm a specialist in cruises, Hawaii, all inclusive resorts, and Disney. That is not a specialist, okay? Those are, now you can book all those things, but what is your specialty? Where are you putting your foot down and saying, I am the person people go to for this? Okay. I will tell you that a specialist, someone who books something specifically, so a specialist is someone who, you know, says, I do destination weddings. Now, it doesn't mean that that person who does destination weddings can't book a Universal trip or can't book a Disney trip. They can. But when they say they're specializing, it is a marketing mindset, really. Now, the reason why we talk about specialists versus generalists is because the travel industry has evolved over the past few years. And with the advent of the internet, anybody can be their own travel agent now. It used to be the only way to buy airline tickets, the only way to get Disney tickets was you had to go either to the Disney store or you had to go to a travel agency to buy them. Okay, in the mall or wherever in a strip mall, there would be a travel agency. You walk in and you get your what's it called? Um, you get your brochures and all that stuff and they print it out for you. So those agents in there had to be knowledgeable about everything. Okay, they knew a little bit about everything versus now it's different because people aren't walking into our offices all the time, right? Since most of us work from home, we're home based. So how do people find us? How do people, um, you know, what is it that gets our word of mouth? What is it that grows our business? It's our marketing and it's our specialization. People know you. When people say their clients are repeat and referral clients, meaning that is what built their business. Why do people refer agents? because they're really good. They're very knowledgeable. Okay. And a lot of times, the reason why some agents really, really grow fast and the reason why others don't is this specialist versus generalist mindset. I'm trying to advance the slide. There we go. Okay. So, oops. Ah, you didn't see that. You didn't. Okay. So now let's look at what people say their niches or specialties are. Okay. And this is based off of property sold. Now, most people will say they're a family travel specialist of 50%. Ocean cruises. Now, a destination specialist means there's a certain place that you are specialized in. Are you a Japan specialist? Are you an Italy specialist? Are you an Alaska specialist? Okay. You know that area. Sometimes you'll say you're a like family travel. Family travel is very popular because they might first go to you for a Disney trip, but then they decide, oh, we want to go on a cruise next time. Okay, and you can still do cruises under family travel. So a lot of people will say that they're romance travel. And romance can be all kinds of things too. It can be weddings, honeymoons, it could be anniversaries, it can be even group trips of just couples only. Okay, so when you think of your specialty, I want you to think of who you're booking and also, what is it that you are going to send them on? Okay, family is kind of an all-encompassing one because it's focusing on those people. Romance is another one where it's focusing on adults only. Now, some people are river cruise specialists. Now, here is okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. I always get ahead of myself because I get so excited when I talk about this. Now, tell me in the comments, pretend like you didn't see it. On average, which types of agents have higher sales? A specialist or a generalist? A specialist or a generalist? And a generalist means somebody who will book anything and everything, and they tell everyone I can book any of your travel. Yes, a specialist. And pretend like you didn't see it when I was going the wrong way. Here's the reason why. And every every agent I know who is really, really sales savvy, who has high sales, they do really well, they are specialists, meaning they pick their area of expertise, whatever it is. And that's a big part. It has to be something you've experienced and that you know like the back of your hand. Okay. You've been to all the resorts. You know which hotels have two queen beds and a day bed, and which ones might not have a day bed guaranteed. I'm talking about Disney. I was qualifying a Disney client yesterday, and they, I was asking them, are two queen beds okay, or do you want like to have an extra sleeper? Like, do the kids want to sleep in separate beds? Those kinds of things. And they said, yes, we want to have that extra sleeper. So I had to tell them, I had to guide them in the way they wanted one room, but they wanted three sleeping surfaces. So where do you have that? Okay. I can do that off the back of my hand. I don't need to look that up. That's what I mean about being a destination specialist, something that where you can answer almost every little detail. That's what a specialty is. And if you don't have one now, you have to think, where are you most passionate? Where do you have the most expertise? Okay? If you go off of your expertise, good things happen. Okay? Now, and the statistic is here, 73% of all sales come from the areas they specialize in. So I'm not saying you can't book something other than your specialty. You absolutely can. But as far as marketing goes, you stick to the specialty because that will get people's attention. Okay. And what happens when you specialize? It's easier to become profitable because you know the destination inside and out. You know where the up, where you know what they need to have a good trip, which means that you might be selling more things on their package. And it's not so that you can have a higher commission, it's so that they can have a better experience. And it also means, yes, you might have a higher sale, which means you get more profits. Okay. Now, and here's the secret. The secret to any agent who takes off as far as their business, their sales, all of this, they get referrals because they know their information inside and out. They know which rooms have this, which rooms have that. Now, and if you're newer and you don't know that, don't worry. You will learn that and you will grow in that knowledge, okay? But you have to have a baseline knowledge. So where is your baseline knowledge? If your baseline knowledge is cruise ships, you start with cruise ships. You can always add on, but I'm talking about for marketing purposes. And then you can also see what your friends and family start booking. And if you're noticing people are booking a lot more cruises than they are all inclusive resorts, well, there's your answer. Okay. Now, and here's the thing about being a specialist. If you know that destination inside and out, you can get through a quote faster, you can get through itineraries faster because you know you have it all there. So you can keep taking on new bookings. The business grows. Okay. So, how to become a specialist. Now, and again, I repeat, it is not that you can't book other things. I'm talking about narrowing your marketing, okay? This is why specialists make more money. They narrow in what they post about. And people think, well, if I narrow in, am I leaving out X, Y, and Z people? You might be. But what happens is you actually get the attention of the ideal market that you want. Okay. Now, stay with me here because here's the thing: when you are posting or sending emails, when you're using your marketing channels, if you are being generic, like a little bit about everything, but not a lot about one thing, nobody's going to pay attention. Okay. But if you are specific in what you are selling, and therefore you put your marketing based off of that, you're able to go deeper, and then people they'll listen to their things. They'll listen to your lives. If you're doing lives, you'll watch your reels because they know this is what you do. And when people are generalists, more so than not, as far as marketing goes, it's harder to get new clients because if you're saying, I can book your trip anywhere you want to go, that's not doing anything concrete. It's too, I almost said bland, it's too generic. Nobody will stop and read what you have to say. But if you give them, let me tell you about this great resort tucked in this cove. This is what you do here. This is what you do there. You're painting a picture for them. Okay. So let's talk about how to pick what you're specializing in. So first, you need to know what your expertise is. Okay, you have to have knowledge. If you don't have knowledge, yes, jack of all trades, master of none. Yes. And that the jack of all trades, the jack of all destinations. One more side note before we move on. Um, one more side note, and I see Joyce said, I need to hear this today. Yes, I find that we need to hear this a lot because I think we get so caught up because there's so much that we can share and there is so much out there. But we have to remember that the our every destination wants us to promote them. And that's great. Yes, they want us to book clients and things like that. But in order for me to properly promote something, I need to know it inside and out. Okay. I need to be able to, paint that experience in words that my ideal client understands. Now, 20 years ago, yeah, maybe 25 years ago, I keep having to add years before the internet took over and we were in offices and things like that. It was different because people just came to you because you were a travel agent. It was a travel agency. I have to go somewhere. I'm going to the travel agency. It was easier. But now that we're mostly online, you have to you have to stand out. And the way you stand out is specializing. So what do you know really well? Okay, think to yourself, what do I know really, really well? What can I talk about forever? Okay. Then you have to think of who's going to book what you know really well. Okay. And then who do you want to work with? Okay. And notice here that I have like this just seems sample destinations, but also I break it down even more. All-inclusive resorts. All-inclusive resorts for whom? For families, multi-generational, adult only, romance. How are you marketing to this? Because a couple is going to have a different marketing message than a family. Okay. And if you're saying, well, I can book both, that's fine. But you need to have every time you make a post, every time you send an email, you have to think like the people who are going to eventually book with you. Okay. For example, the preschool parents are going to have a different need than parents of tweens. Okay. And I had a great Monica, I think, who's still on here. She was saying she's going to do a series on she's a preschool, like, young parents of young kids are her ideal clients for like Disney and cruises. And she was going to do the most stroller friendly resorts. And that is something that appeals to that demographic. Does that appeal to couples? No, but she's going for that ideal audience. That will stand out to her ideal audience and they will read it. Okay. If you send that to, and again, and people also might still read it, even if it's not that ideal audience, because they're curious. They might want to know for their friends. They might want to know, like, if they're a couple, so they might want to know for the future for when they have kids. So, but that message is more resounding than saying, these are my 3 favorite hotels at Disney. Okay. Notice how it changes. The 3 best stroller resorts versus my 3 favorite hotels. Okay. It sounds better if it's more directed to the audience, or the best places to stay in the best 3 suites at Atlantis for multi-generational groups. Okay. Taking your target market and customizing your message to it does wonders for for reach, for interaction. You have to think like your ideal client base. And then finally, to be a specialist, you have to have passion about something. Okay. You have to have a personal connection because you're not a robot. Okay. So remember, you need to have the expertise. You have to know who your target audience is. And you can have multiple target audiences, but when you're thinking about a certain marketing piece, okay, like if you're thinking about a reel, or if you're thinking about a post, or you're thinking about a Facebook Live topic, okay, think about your audience. What would speak to them? Okay. Now, your job is to declare a specialty. And when I say a specialty, I mean, are you doing, and you can do it 2 different ways. You could do it by demographic. I'm family travel. Or you can do it by destination. I specialize in Disney and Universal. I specialize in cruises. I specialize in cruises for seniors. I specialize in cruises for couples. You see how when you get more specific, it makes it easier for people to say, "Oh, that's my agent." Okay? So take that with you. Specificity is not a bad thing because it stands out. When you are generic, it does not you don't stand out. If you say, "I can book you on river cruises, ocean cruises, any cruise you want." Okay? Or you could say, um, for a multi-generational group, this is the best, say you do cruises and you want to do multi-gen. You could say, these 4 ships are great for multi-generational trips. So you pull out the 4 ships, and they could be different. Now, river cruises, I don't know if that's good for multi-gen, but you can pull out a couple of ships and say, this is why you should sail on this one. Okay. So you have to think of things from your ideal client's perspective. All right. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to be back on Thursday because I got to catch up with my Making Your Own Luck series since it's already past St. Patrick's Day. But Thursday, we're going to talk about more about that ideal audience. Okay. Because this is the secret to marketing that works. All right. Have a good one. Bye bye.